Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to our global job market session. Today, we would like to answer the question if it's a candidate or employer's market looking at March 2023. My name is Sandra Bichl. I'm a former executive search consultant turned career advisor and HR consultant. Today, I'm representing Career Angels, and let's have a look at the data. Given the nature of our business at Career Angels, which is career consulting, we always want to understand how macroeconomic changes actually influence the job market. So far, we have gathered almost 13,000 data points, over 500 insights from executives and HR directors, and we have published 94 monthly reports, 599 daily updates, and 13 special reports. In other words, we have been tracking a total of 80 countries around the world for the last 35 months. If you'd like to have access to our reports, you can either check them out via our SlideShare account or through our showcase page on LinkedIn called Market Signals. Now, why is it important to understand the supply and demand of candidates? From an employer's perspective, it simply tells you what kind of approach might work to attract candidates. In some markets, the approach post and pray will be more than enough. Post a job ad, pray that enough good candidates apply. In more competitive job markets, you might have to adapt salaries and or benefit packages. On the other hand, from a candidate's perspective, the more you know about the job market, the better you can adapt your own career management and job search strategy, which means you can predict if and how much more time and effort you need to put into an active job search. We're streaming today on several platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment, react, and of course share. Hi, Łukasz, thanks for joining. Now, today's structure, we'll first look at the global reach, then we'll look at Europe in detail, global perspective from an annual perspective, then we will do a deep dive into Germany, UK, US, the DACH region, and last but not least, we will look at the job markets of Belgium, Poland, and Italy, and where possible, I will add tips. So global reach. When we look at the number, at the changes in the number of published job ads on LinkedIn, you can see how the demand for candidates on that platform has changed in the course of March. In detail, that means Africa has, despite the improvement of the last week, has seen a decrease, an overall monthly decrease of 1.91%. Not that dramatic. In the Americas, there is a slight increase, plus 0.53%, and Europe plus 3.48%. So March from a European perspective and on a positive note. Now, what you see here is the overview of demands for candidates in Europe for the past 30 plus months. Now, although it is a plus, only three countries contribute to that plus, especially France. It is a big job market. So Italy, France, and Portugal have seen an increase from 2.07 to 22.52%. I just see that you can't fully hear me. Let's see if I can increase my mic. Let's see, Lech, is that better now? I hope it is. Okay. Now, if only 3 countries out of 38 have seen an increase in demand for Canada, that automatically means that 35 countries have seen a decrease in demand for candidates. So you can see it's from minus 0.77% for Belgium, up to and down to minus 49.49% in Montenegro. Now, if you are actively looking for a job, I recommend you join the Hidden Job Market group on LinkedIn, where we share the best job ad gems for experienced managers and executives. And Lech, if you could please confirm that you can hear me better now, that would be great. I still have a little bit of wiggle room to improve my mic. Now, one thing that you will also find in our Hidden Job Market group is a dedicated remote edition for executives. Those are usually 10 to 30 job ads that are exclusively remote editions for those who enjoy working from home. Now, global perspective annual differences. So we've compared week 13 of 2023 to week 13 of 2022 to understand same time last year, how are we doing? So in Europe, we're doing 7.96% better than last year, so very good. Top 20 economies worldwide, minus 3.48%. 22 countries from the Americas, minus 12.58%. So a decrease of job ads of over 1 million. And the 10 top economies in Africa have seen an increase as compared to last year, which is plus 10.23%. US, UK, Germany, you can see that compared to last year, all of those three job markets have seen a decrease in demand for candidates. In other words, it is much more difficult to be an active candidate. On the other hand, if you're on the employer side, it should be easier to find candidates in those markets. In detail, here you can see the trends for the US, UK, and Germany. US minus 0.28, UK minus 1.93, and minus 4.71 for Germany. This is the result for March. Bi-monthly result, so the overall trend for the last 2 months is also negative in all three countries. So quarter one ends on a negative note. What does that mean from an employer's perspective? If you have a less competitive job market, it might be more than enough to post a job ad and wait for competent candidates to apply. In those job markets where it's a little bit more competitive, you might have to do active sourcing through, for example, LinkedIn, or even hire a recruitment agency. And what's always a good idea to actively invest in employer branding and, for example, define your candidate personas correctly. Now, from a candidate's perspective, it's important to understand not only how the demand side of candidates looks like, but also how unemployment rates look like. Here we recommend having a look at Eurostat, if, of course, you're in the European Union. So depending on how difficult your job market is, a couple of tips. If you're a candidate, make sure that you set a very precise career/job search goal, position yourself well as a candidate, make sure you have 2 CVs, one for humans, one for applicant tracking systems, prepare your LinkedIn profile accordingly for humans and for the LinkedIn algorithm. And if you are proactively looking, definitely use all 4 job search channels. Now, if you're slightly confused by CV for humans versus CV for applicant tracking systems, we have prepared guides that explain what that actually means. Some of you prefer to read, then you can download a PDF. Some of you will prefer watching a video. Once you have prepared a CV for applicant tracking systems, feel free to send it to us by email and request a free ATS compliance report. Given how competitive the majority of job markets are, our recommendation is to get it to at least 80%. Okay, now some of you prefer to talk and not read reports, so here as well, you can get in touch with us to book a free career consultation. Now, as mentioned, we're streaming on 3 platforms, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. And I'm saying that now because in about the 4 slides, I'll start wrapping up. So if you have questions, start formulating them so I have a chance to see them. Now off to the DACH region. Germany, Austria, Switzerland, all three countries have seen a decrease in demand for candidates, unfortunately. Bi-monthly trend is also negative overall. So in those countries, it has been a very tough region to be in for candidates in the past 3 years, and it's not getting easier anytime soon, unfortunately. Now let's have a look at Belgium, Italy, and Poland. Belgium minus 0.77%, so just a slight decrease. Italy, thankfully, and finally plus 18.38% here. It seems the economy is picking up. Poland, a small decrease of minus 1.03%. Now, if you have questions, now is the time to ask them. In the meantime, I'll mention that we have a initiative called Challenge Accepted Europe Edition, which is a community where experienced managers meet to discuss career and to learn about job market trends. If you like DIY, we also have a course on Udemy called Every Step of the Job Search Explained and Backed by Research. Almost 15 hours of on-demand videos and lots of very practical resources that you can download and work on. Łukasz asks, are the trends made by month per month? Well, we track those trends on a monthly, bi-monthly, and annual basis, and we're currently working on a summary for the last 3 years for, in detail, definitely the countries in the European Union. So we will actually be able to see also the changes in unemployment rates and how that then influences, if it influences demand for candidates, because there are some countries where it doesn't. So we'll soon publish a very comprehensive report on that front. If you want to dig a little bit deeper, we publish all of our data very transparently on the mentioned platforms, meaning SlideShare, our website, of course, and on the Market Signals showcase page on LinkedIn. I hope, Łukasz, that answers your question. Now, if you are not that much, for some reason, into them, you can, of course, also look at our videos on our YouTube channel. Well, I'll wait for a couple of more questions. In the meantime, if you like what we do, if you value our content, we have put together a couple of ideas of how you can thank us. The way candidates need to hack LinkedIn algorithms, we also have algorithms to hack on the various platforms. So a like, a subscribe, a share does make a difference. Okay, well, in that case, if there are no more questions, you know you can always reach out to me by email or LinkedIn. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope that next time, when summarizing April at the beginning of May, I'll have better news for you. Okay. Dariusz asks, last minute question, do you have a drill down of the analysis for industries? Not at that level at the moment, Dariusz, unfortunately. But you will see we don't have an analysis the way you would probably expect from a very detailed data perspective. But what we do have in our group, Hidden Job Market for Experienced Managers in Europe, there you can see tendencies for executive as to what kind of roles are in demand at any given week, because they're fresh recruitment processes. So there you can, looking at the information we published there, I'm sure you can recognize certain trends from a definitely function perspective, and probably also from an industry perspective to see what kind of industries are currently hiring executives. So that could help if you are interested in that. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic spring break and see you again in 1 month.